Welcome to the Shore Local News South Jersey Shore podcast. We are the community voice of the South Jersey Shore. Now here's who's on today's episode. On today's episode, we are in conversation with Eileen Dillon. She is the CEO of Cancer Support Community New Jersey at Gilda's Club, formerly known as Gilda's Club South Jersey. We talk about the organization's Dragon Boat Festival, an annual fundraiser held in July, plus the return of in-person programming at their Linwood Clubhouse and their new affiliation with Cancer Support Community. I'm Stephen Klenk, and this is my interview with Eileen Dillon. So, tell us about the Dragon Boat Fest. I understand that this has become a popular event in recent years. Could you give a little bit of background on this event?
Absolutely. So this year we will be celebrating our 6th annual Dragon Boat Festival out at Lake Lenape. A bit of a twist this year. We will be at Lake Lenape West, which is the opposite side of the lake that we had typically been on the previous years. That part of the lake is actually under construction this year. So, we're planning it. It'll be slightly different. I think it's had its challenges, but it actually, I think, is going to be really enjoyable because we will have food trucks. We will have Cape May Brewery. We will have Tito's Cocktail Trailer. All of this is executive produced by John Henderson, who is of Good Time Tricycle. So we will have Good Time Tricycle on hand to keep things rolling and going along. And we're really excited.
And a typical day at the Dragon Boat Festival, what can people expect to find?
Well, there's two ways to participate, either as a spectator or as a paddler, where you're paddling a dragon boat in the regatta. For the paddlers, it's a full day. It typically starts at about 8 a.m. and depending upon the amount of teams we have, can go to 4 or 5 p.m. with the medal ceremony. This year we have 36 teams, which almost maxes us out. So we're going to anticipate a full day, 4:30. As a spectator, you can come anytime during that time. The races go on all day long. Typically, the teams will do 3 heats. So the only time we break for about 40 minutes at around 12 or 12:30. And that's when we honor our cancer survivors. And we do a flower ceremony out on the beach. It's lovely. It's wonderful to watch. And that's typically the break in the race. But other than that, we're racing all day.
And the flower ceremony is such a beautiful event.
It is.
How important is that to have something that honors these people?
Well, it's key because what we're doing is it's important that though we are able to have well over 1,000 people coming in and out of that park, that they understand that, yes, this is a wonderful, fun festival, but that it's raising, essential funds for us to continue to help people that are diagnosed with cancer and their families with emotional and educational support. So that this is a fundraiser, and this is what it's for. So I think it's a tough event to get a lot of mission statement out just because of the nature of it. But that small piece of the event actually gives us the opportunity to talk a little bit about what we do.
And I understand that you do a lot of in-person programs for Gilda's as well. Have those returned since the pandemic?
Yes, we are we have a partial schedule in person. So we are still running programs in our Linwood Clubhouse at 700 New Road, at the Atlantic Care Cancer Center on English Creek in Egg Harbor Township, and at the Inspirit Cancer Centers in Vineland and Mullica Hill. And all of the in-person programming that's happening will be found on our website, and that would be cscnj.org, and we have a full calendar there. So we have in-person programming happening as well as a full virtual calendar.
That's absolutely wonderful. And I understand that there have been a few changes.
Yes, there's been a lot of changes. The Gilda's Club South Jersey is part of a national organization, and the national organization is the Cancer Support Community. There's over 175 affiliates in Canada and the U.S. We were one of the affiliates. We kept the name Gilda's Club, when we had the opportunity to change to Cancer Support Community about 10 years ago. We opted not to do it, but moving forward, we are now known as the Cancer Support Community of New Jersey at Gilda's Club. What occurred is that our territory expanded. So where we were only serving members in South Jersey, south of Toms River, down to Cape May, the national headquarters had decided to give us the entire state of New Jersey. Thus, we felt it was necessary to actually make a name change at this point so that the rest of the folks in Central and North Jersey would understand who we are and what we do. And we are working diligently to get partners in those areas. We have a couple irons in the fire, with one in North Jersey as well as an additional partner in Central Jersey. But the membership is already participating virtually. Those would be cancer centers where they would be able to meet the social worker as they're coming in for treatment. And that's wonderful because we're able to meet people where they are. But the other option is that they participate virtually, and essentially they can participate from anywhere. So that is a big change for us.
And it has to be a very significant change as far as offering these services to a wider community.
Absolutely. That's our goal. Our goal is, and we have said it for many years, that no one needs to face cancer alone. And we want to now, with the technology that we were able to really, manifest during COVID, we had no choice. And it wasn't something that we were doing prior to COVID, but during the pandemic, we really learned how the virtual programming, it was essential. And it made sense. Besides the pandemic, it made sense because we have members that are going through treatment. We have members that are, radiation, chemotherapy, surgery. They're not able to get out and about. And this still gives them the opportunity for support. And all they need to do is to log on through a smartphone or through their laptop. And essentially, becoming a member has become so much easier. Of course, all of our services are free. There is never a fee for anything that we do. We just ask that someone who is affected by cancer reach out to us. The intake process is, it's such a quick process now for us that essentially they could make a phone call in the morning, speak to our program manager or our program director, and these are all licensed mental health professionals, and then that same night be sent a link to participate in a group, a few hours later.
That must mean a lot to the people who join the program.
Absolutely. Prior to this, it was more of a kind of a bulky process. They had to come into the clubhouse. They met with one of our mental health professionals, and then they were, spoken to, face to face, which is wonderful. And I never want to lose that. But this is actually really efficient when we are able to do it virtually. And our membership has grown because of it.
How many members do you have currently?
Oh, we're well over. I'm going to say that we're probably at this point, we're getting close to about 2,000, all in the state of New Jersey.
You are listening to Shore Local, the South Jersey Shore podcast. We are in conversation with Eileen Dillon, CEO of Cancer Support Community New Jersey at Gilda's Club. Our conversation continues as Dillon talks about plans for the organization going forward.
The core of our program is group support. So group support is really key. And what happens with group support is that people that are actually diagnosed with cancer, are in one particular group. They're caregivers, which it's huge for a caregiver to have some support because they're the ones that are taking care of someone, and then, who's taking care of them. Caregivers are in another group. Children of, let's say there's a parent that has cancer or a grandparent. The children go into a different group. And we've even broken it up by demographic, meaning we have young adults, we have a teen group, we have our children's program, which is 10 and under. The group support is always the key part of having someone in our participate in our programs. The other things that we offer are healthy lifestyle. So we have virtual and in-person yoga. We have in-person Pilates. We have in-person strength training for a healthy lifestyle. We have managing anxiety and meditation, which they can participate in virtually as well. And then there's the educational part of it, which is the lunch and learns and the seminars and the workshops that are held with oncology professionals and healthcare professionals. Those are going on. And again, virtual and in person. It's really a very well-rounded program.
Wow, and it must mean a lot to have these services so close to home.
And absolutely free.
The Dragon Boat Festival, as I understand, it is the largest fundraiser of the year?
Yeah, for us it typically is the largest fundraiser of the year. We're on target to raise probably about $150,000 that day. And it is definitely much needed. We're very happy. We just received a very generous grant from Lowe's Home Improvement, and Lowe's is helping us to do all of the upgrades and the necessary projects that needed to be done in our Linwood clubhouse so that we can keep our membership safe and warm and dry and cool in the summer. So we're very grateful for that, but we are still in need, and we're always in need. And so we really depend upon this festival to help us. Losing the festival in 2020 and then having a smaller version of the festival in 2021 kind of set us behind on the fundraising part of this. So 2022 is looking like it's going to be a record year. So we're very excited about that.
I understand that it's a very easy activity for anyone to participate in.
It is. And dragon boating has a connection to the cancer community, particularly breast cancer survivors. Dragon boating is a, 2,000-year-old Chinese sport, but it actually kind of hooked in to the breast cancer community when an oncologist in Canada, where dragon boating is very big, was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when you have breast cancer after your surgeries, they will tell you during recovery, there's certain arm movements that you should avoid. And she was a rower, and that's not a movement that the oncologist would encourage you to do. But dragon boating is a different type of paddle. And it's kind of hard. I'm actually doing it. I can't show you, but it's a different type of paddle that doesn't create the tension that rowing would create. So it kind of caught on in the breast cancer community, and they started to build these teams. And then slowly but surely, it got into the entire cancer community. So it is a very easy activity. The paddling, the race lasts about 2 minutes. It's 200 meters, and it's 22 people in the boat. So, that gives you plenty of, horsepower. And we accept paddlers from the age of 12 and up. And there's professionals on there. So the regatta is run by a Canadian company called 22 Dragons. There's always a member of 22 Dragons inside of the boat. I mean, we've never, knock wood, we've never had any issues. But if we were to, it's very safe. Everyone wears life vests. We're out at a lake. It's not as though we're on a bay where we have to contend with tides. And then there's a professional in the back of the boat steering the boat.
That's wonderful. I actually didn't know about that until just now, so I'm learning something as I go along. That's awesome. And Lake Lenape is such an amazing setting for an event like this.
It really is. And then they've been great. The county and Hamilton Township have been wonderful to us, welcoming us back every year, doing whatever they could so that we didn't have to skip a year or find another location, and offering us Lake Lenape West, which typically wouldn't be offered. But they did it for us, and we're really grateful.
Where can people go to get more information about all of the services that you offer, the Dragon Boat Festival? And are you still looking for active volunteers or participants?
Volunteers, yes. I mean, we could probably take a couple more teams. We're about sold out, but we definitely need more volunteers. We also are looking for an additional food vendor, another food truck that we would like to see if we can get them to come out. And then, of course, we want people to come and spectate. I mean, the idea, I can't tell you how many people have come out one day to watch it, and then the following year, they have a boat because they realize how fun it was, and they want to do it too. So, yes, we definitely are looking for volunteers, and they can go to our website for all the information. and that website is cscnj.org.
Eileen Dillon, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Absolutely, Stefan. Thank you so much for reaching out and for always being so wonderful to cover all of our events.
To learn more about Cancer Support Community New Jersey at Gilda's Club, available services, and for complete updates on Dragon Boat Festival activities, go to cscnj.org. You've been listening to a Shore Local Conversation with Eileen Dillon, CEO of Cancer Support Community New Jersey at Gilda's Club. This is Stefan Klenk for the Shore Local News Podcast, proudly produced in Ocean City, New Jersey. Visit shorelocalnews.com online or pick it up in print at outlets throughout Atlantic and Cape May County, New Jersey.